Welcome to Paris, Starfort Wonderland. Look at this old map from, I believe, the early 1800s with just a ferocious amount of star forts around it. Paris is a key city of the old world that I don't think we have ever been told the truth about. One of those places that plays such a key role in the grand scheme of the world and definitely did at a certain point in time beyond our fathomability and beyond what's left of us to find in research. I'm sure the books were lost of the true Paris creation and founding and whatever. But either way, there's always some clues I feel left over from that may offer hints into something about the pre-reset world that we are living in now. And I think some of the clues might come out of Paris. So I was actually diving down a certain rabbit hole and started to basically come across these Paris Times magazines and newspapers, and I just had to just dive into them because there's a lot of key information in some of these and some great pictures. So this one, I was actually looking for Florida stuff, and this was the start of it. So it says, after Florida's darkest hour had passed, some of the wreckage left by the hurricane from the Bahamas, which swept the tip of the peninsula, bringing catastrophes such as America had not known since Galveston. In the upper photograph, boats from Miami Harbor thrown into the city. In the other, ruins around a steel frame building, one of the few to withstand the storm. So very interesting. How many times was Florida destroyed? And they compare it to Galveston, which also has a very sketchy destruction past. But so I gathered a lot of different clips, and I found about 6 that I really, really like. And I found a lot that I really like, but 6 I just wanted to share because they show the range that I feel this Paris Times has to offer. And I think the more we dive down into these old newspapers, you may be able to find those articles that stand out. This one, Montmartre guards a cherished relic. The Garde Champêtre of the Free Commune, doing sentry duty before the house in the Rue du Mont-Cenis, supposed to have been the home of Mimi Pinson, no idea who she is, and recently mentioned in talk of more demolitions on the Sacred Hill. That's what caught my eye, the Sacred Hill. What is the story with that? And this right here, Getting Mars Wavelengths from Camille Flammarion. You all know him from the Flammarion engraving, which I'll show. Celebrated his 82nd birthday several days ago, says that while he does not know for sure, he believes that communication with Mars may be established someday. By what means he cannot, of course, predict. So again, they've been doing this Mars thing for a very long time. And he's got an amazing map of all the celestials. I love that map. And he is also the creator of this artwork. And this is my version of it, but you've seen it before with the guy peeking through the dome. And who knows if he was a Freemason or if he really discovered this stuff or repurposed it. But either way, found in the Paris Times and interesting. It's just a crazy perspective and a lot of key things that may have been scrubbed from our reality. So this was a portal that Moses knew, installed in University of Pennsylvania Museum. The main entrance to the Palace of the Pharaohs of the Exodus is shown being put in its place at the University of Pennsylvania Museum, Philadelphia, as part of the valuable acquisitions that the museum expedition made on a recent Egyptological trip. The slab in the photo is only part of the doorway, which is 23 feet in height. So what did they find at this time? The Moses stone. I wonder if that's still at the University of Pennsylvania. Who knows? But again, all these random little aspects of history and of the news that have been lost to time and just people have either forgotten about or they, again, have been scrubbed. In this one, again, there's all kinds of airships in these Paris Times. Germany in the air again. The dirigible shown above is Germany's greatest post-war airship, the Hansa. It was photographed while cruising over the North Sea. I wonder how old those are, dirigibles, and how Germany, I love how that they came out of Germany because there is so much repossessed tech that I believe came out of Germany and came out of the Tartaria region that we have repurposed and known, and other people have stolen the inventions, the credit, stolen all the patents, everything. Something happened at one point to reset all. I wouldn't be surprised if all of the technology is ancient Asian and Tartarian that we know of and has been repurposed. And how far did they get? Who knows? But again, these magazines, I think these old newspapers may offer a glimpse. In between the cracks may be some secrets to things that they didn't want us to learn or they put in there but they wanted people to learn at that time, but you never know. The ads are always very interesting. This is just a collection of the automobiles and different methods of travel that I put in this section with the airships because It's, again, very interesting. And this one I thought was cool as well. Where the Germans first felt America's might. This boulder, recently visited by World War veterans on the tour arranged by the United States Lines, marks the spot where the American Army first went into action at Lucy-le-Borage in the Marne sector. And look at the destruction of the old world right there in everyone's face, and there's a rock to commemorate it. Sweet. Look at all the massive buildings they pummeled in the war. Again, all these wars to destroy the old world and all remnants of it. And lastly, the one that I'm going to focus on is When Peace Bells Ring, the National Peace Tower to be erected at Washington. So although this never got made, it's interesting to see what they were pondering and what was the emblem at the top of this peace tower that they were planning in Washington. Or maybe, again, maybe that's a building that was there, was going to be repurposed as a peace monument, and they decided against it. They probably decided to blow it up instead. But it also looks a lot like the Bok Tower in Florida, the Telegraph Hill, or one of those ones in San Francisco. There seem to be these interesting towers all over the place, and I don't think we're being told what they really are at all. But who knows? And again, they're advertising it in the Paris Times, and this Paris Times is so connected to America. Like, the majority of articles are about America, so it makes you wonder what the heck is happening. Where were these sides? Who were the sides of the official war? And you know that the stuff that survived, that's all over the place in the archives and everywhere, is from the victors, and everything else can't be really fathomed because it was destroyed. I have a really sinking sensation that the Asians and Chinese and Tartarians were all over America at one point, and at some point they lost the war and everything was set out to destroy. The winning team would always send out everything they could to destroy all remaining things so that they can control the information in the future. I wouldn't put it past any victorious party in any war to do that, and so I believe that happened at some point. There is a lot of old world mysteries, and they just showcase all the time these old buildings, and these are all from the 24s to 26, but there's more Paris Times in there. I definitely recommend check out the links. But the way they talk about the old buildings, the way they really they highlight them, they're not highlighting any like modern avant-garde monstrosities that like are concrete bricks or anything. They weren't even thinking in terms of like the boxy, terrible, structured, weak buildings that we see around us today that they're constantly building. They were thinking on a whole different level, although that city, has, I'm sure, a mix of both old world and new world. But these buildings that they're showcasing, the ones that people want to see, the ones that they're advertising, the ones that people want to know more about, are all of the ancient, beautiful characteristics. They all have the ancient art. They all have the old world offering. It's like the same theme as nowadays, where these people that control the world are a bunch of uncreative losers, and the people that they constantly steal from are the true creative people, the people with the blood of the creator inside us. And the other people just can't get there. They have no inner sense of what extreme beauty is, and they wanted to make the entire world lose its sense of beauty by getting rid of all these buildings over time. But during this time, in these 20s, they were still honoring these buildings. It's only now that they're really stepping it up and don't want any of this stuff to go around. That's why they're sending people into this to infiltrate this scene. They're sending all different kinds of things, and they're starting wars in Ukraine, Crimea, where some of this last ancient structures exist. All over the Middle East, they've been blowing up everything for so long, turning it to rubble, turning it to dust, so that in a couple generations no one will even have a clue about it, and it'll look like the Grand Canyon to us, and we'll be like, oh, those mines or those ancient trees, and we'll have no idea, because that's just how they do it. They've got the method down. But look at these buildings. Look at all these things that they showcase. Look at this world. All these buildings feel to me like they are just right. Like, if you're going to create on Earth, in this planet, with these conditions, with these physics, with this nature, you need to make buildings like they did. That's the only way they can survive. You need to design cities like they did. That's the only way they can survive. You need to do so much more. And there's a lot of different parts in these that show different types of, aerial, telegraph things, etc. There's so much that you can find from just discovering old pictures, old newspapers, old magazines. I know they're all compromised for the most part, but there's always some little clues in there. And they've really focused on art a lot too, which is very fascinating as well. Almost like they were trying to really encourage everyone to be as creative and hone their skills as possible, so that they could maybe, mimic the ancients, but also keep it going in a way, keep that skill going. It seemed like they were really encouraging the arts. And their impressions of Native Americans are very interesting. There's a few pictures of actual Native Americans, and the rest seem like Europeans and Americans dressed as them, as some kind of gimmick, as some kind of anything. Just skimming these will give you some different ideas and thoughts of like, what is that? Like, what is the sculptor down there working in marble? There's different parts where they focus on the Ku Klux Klan is on the center, the cover of this magazine. And, I don't know where any of this leads, but it allows for some excellent hints. Different touch-ups of ancient structures, different people fixing things, different expeditions, different monuments that were or were not built, different people from all over the world, different famous people that we've probably been lost to time. Every generation, the people that are famous in this magazine, most of them are probably gone, probably lost, as far as not just passed away, but their stories aren't really living on, because who's gonna do it? Who's gonna tell it? But us truth seekers, it's just another avenue of a nice place to look. And you see, they advertise Sweden, Italy, all these places as come to beautiful, explore this beautiful thing, live in the heart of Paris in these ridiculous buildings. It just must have been an amazingly elegant and fascinating time. And there's something we are just missing, because all these guys are just, this majority of people are like in suits. The streets are clean. They're all wearing hats. It's as if someone cleared this place out at one point, and then these guys are all here now trying to just do the last minute touches, the last minute cleansings, the last minute things, and trying to cover as best they can from other people understanding by putting out a charade of popular culture and things that will keep the people entertained, just like they do now, but in a more beautiful way. People were more fascinated by beauty, and now they're fascinated by, or the powers that be think that the masses are fascinated by things that are against nature and kind of vile and gross. And that's why a lot of people aren't watching and tuning in. And hopefully they get the hint soon. But either way, take a look at these things. You can find amazing art, amazing photographs, amazing people to research, amazing avenues, amazing rabbit holes to dive down, amazing impressions of old buildings. Each article has different tidbits of things that were happening throughout the world, all connected through this central Paris, which is the absolute, again, the massive star fort city all over the place. Whatever the true history of Paris is, and the Eiffel Tower and all of those, it's definitely not what we've been told. There is so much more to all of this. Everything we know of has been just corrupted, and somewhere the secrets lie. Somewhere there is a treasure trove, and people that are most likely partially in control of this place know what's going on, and they're laughing at us every time a false narrative is pushed to oblivion, because every one of their narratives has an agenda behind it, and it's an anti-human, anti-life, negative, nasty agenda, not the one that we deserve. I'll say that. But I also love looking at the advertisements, the hotels, all these hotels. It's just like, how did you ever get the money to create a hotel that would cost that much and be an amazing place with doors that big, or all the churches? What are we being told? What are we being fed? What is the reality? And why can't we just find it out for once and for all? Who knows? But enjoy these Paris times. Check the links below. Explore them. See what you can find. If you find anything good, share the link below. There are hundreds, thousands of different versions of this newspaper, and each one has a lot of interesting stuff in it. You never really know what you're going to find. Great for art inspiration. Great for people just seeking news. Great for when you're bored to just be like, wonder what was happening in Paris over 100 years ago, or almost 100 years ago. Something is there, and we need to find it. So enjoy. Happy hunting. Babe Ruth down there, really great. I'll let you all take it from here. Just listen to some music and take out the last pages of the Paris Times Holiday End of the Year edition from 1924. Take a look at all these. Zoom in, experience the links, and dive into this. Let me know what you find. There are some treasures lurking, I guarantee it. Some stuff to reverse engineer, but we can guide ourselves towards the truth by thinking properly and discovering the right stuff. They must have slipped up somewhere. So, happy hunting. Bless you all.